Carty Method podcast.
Well, hello, welcome to the Carte Method podcast. Today we are doing Portfolio Lab. Every Thursday I look at photographers that are really serious about changing their reality from working at that 9-to-5 job that they might hate to transitioning into a life of a full-time pro photographer. Every Olympic athlete has a coach. So pro photographers, and myself included, through my entire career, I've had photographers that are ahead of me help me get to the point where I was shooting magazine work, I was shooting advertising. Like, I've always had mentors, I've always had coaches, I've always had people helping, and I'm here to help you. Those people who are in Portfolio Lab, and by the way, if you're interested in having your work looked at the same level that I look at the photographers' work who submit, and again, the only way to submit is through Portfolio Lab. That's how you join. Today, and the way that we do this is I give you an assignment that's like a pro level of assignment, like shoot a magazine cover, shoot an ad for Nike, like these kinds of assignments. And then on alternate weeks, I give you what's called open submission, where you get to send me anything that you're thinking about putting in your portfolio. And I'm going to tell you, yes, this should be in your book, or no, it shouldn't. This week, meaning week 12, is open submission. So I'm looking at pictures that, again, you've shot for yourself that you're hoping are good enough for your portfolio. All right, let's start with our first photographer. His name is Roberto Carlos Perez. He shot this with a Canon R8 with an 85 millimeter f5.6, 1/60th of a second, and at ISO 100, shot with a single Westcott. This is Roberto Carlos Perez. Roberto, thank you for submitting. Let's get it on. Roberto, thank you for submitting, by the way. I'm glad you're here. So the first thing that I see off the top is light. And I see based on, oops, sorry, you didn't see that. Let's go back to Roberto Carlos Perez. So, and also let's make sure that that's off. All right. So Roberto Carlos, the first thing that I see is exposure through here. Let's get to the right tool. Exposure through here is under, and I mean underexposed. Like, you can really see how, if you look at my skin here, and his skin, like, it just feels muddy. So what we're trying to do is up the exposure here. I'm going to call this under by half a stop. So the exposure here has to be increased. I see that you're using light, but I don't know if you have a light meter. So if you're using artificial lights without a light meter, then you're basically doing, or looking at your camera and saying, well, that looks okay, and then shooting. And sadly, in this case, if that's how you're shooting, then this is underexposed, and you need to invest in a light meter so you can nail your exposure. So when you're shooting indoor under lights, it just really has that pop and that snap. As far as the tone on tone, okay, but again, it's like he's groomed well, but it's just about, like, his body language is a little bit sloppy, and what he's wearing is like a little bit, and again, it seems like this is, I believe, based on your description, a series on teachers. So it's tricky. In this case, I would have had him take off the over jacket take off this over jacket and then just focus on this polka dotted shirt, and then perhaps do this button just to add like some sort of dimension and structure to a relatively casual shirt. And if not that, at least square up the collar so it looks super even. Like for me, it just feels a little bit sloppy and the exposure is low. So for me, this shouldn't go in your book. I don't think that it's strong enough, and I think that you're a stronger photographer than this. I've also seen you use artificial light and really nail it. But that level of light, and he's right on top of the background, like he's right on top of the background. Like you have to separate him from the background by like 3, 4, 5, 6 feet to like give that background depth and make it so your shadow from your light falls onto the floor and not onto the background. It just gives it a little bit more depth. Very good effort. Thanks for submitting. That was Roberto Carlos Perez. Next up is Sonny Warren. Sonny shot this with a Nikon Z5 Mark II with a 50mm, shot at f8, a 200th of a second. Oh my God. Calligraphy, thank you so much, by the way, that you're formatting the notes. That's beautiful. 50mm f8, 200th of a second at ISO 100, shot with 2 lights, both Godox. This is Sonny Warren asking if this could go in his portfolio or no. Sonny, thanks for submitting. So Sonny, I see who the ideal client type is. I see the idea, but for me, it's like, I don't know if he's the right subject. I just don't know if this hits hard enough to be a portfolio image. I don't know, Sonny. It's let me see here and make sure that I'm not making any mistakes. Yes, this is Sonny. So Sonny, I also know your other work, so I feel like you have other work that is stronger light-wise and stronger idea-wise. So the poor boy cap, the hoodie, the vest, like this is very specific styling to a very specific individual who probably lives in Stratford, Ontario. So again, I'm like, is this good enough to be in your book? Maybe temporarily, but long term, no. I think as far as who goes in your portfolio, like when you're new, you take who you can get, and over time, we have to be a bit more like scrutinous. Cover-wise, composition, yes, very strong. Magazine cover composition, yes, works. As an 8x10, this would work. You would definitely lose, I'm not sure what that's called, when the vest or shirt like kind of cuts down like that. But you're going to lose that when you go to an 8x10. But still, Sonny, it's a strong image, but I believe in your potential, and I believe that you will have better photographs, way better than this for your portfolio. Although I see who this is geared towards, I just think that it's too narrow a window. Yeah, just stay the course. I don't know if this one hits hard enough to be in your book. I'm not sure. All right. That was Sonny Warren. This is Mike Walls. Mike shoots with a Canon R6. What? Wait, what? Smoke. Yeah, just to prove to you guys that this is a real room. It's not a set. It's just my office. It's just my office. It has 3 dimensions, and I work here when I'm not podcasting. All right. Mike Walls shoots with an R6 Mark II. He shot this with a 100mm macro. shot at 1/160th of a second, at 6.3 and at 3/20th ISO. This is Mr. Mike Walls. Let me make sure. Yes, this is Mike Walls. Mike, thanks for submitting. So, Mike, I appreciate you continually doing swings in order to improve the shots that I'm criticizing you on before. This is, I would say, almost 100% of the way there. You removed some items that were working before. The first item that you moved that was working before was the hot dog. The hot dog was like, hey, oh my goodness, Mr. Zandon just gifted like a whole bunch, like as in 10 memberships. Zandon, this is for you. All of this smoke and mystery, that's for you, for your generosity. And I'm looking you in the eye and saying, thank you, Zandon, so much for your generosity. And if you were lucky enough to just be gifted a channel membership from Zandon, do make sure that you like give the man a thank you. Leave a thank you in the comments here and say, hey, Zandon, thanks for gifting me a membership to the Carty method. And Zandon, again, thank you. Appreciate you. And let's, in case I didn't put your love on the table here. Oh my goodness, where is this? There we go. There we go. All right, Zandon, thank you. Again, just giving you a little bit of mojo so you guys know who gifted and who put down their hard-earned money to make it so you had a membership on this channel. All right, let's get back to Mike Walls. Mike, everything that I asked for you to improve, meaning instead of aiming up at your subject, aiming straight on or aiming slightly down, you did that for this. I'm still seeing the ceiling, which we don't need, although I do appreciate that the lines are straight. Like everything up here is unnecessary. Same with what's under here. He is incredibly offset. You're cutting his arm off, you're cutting his shoulder off, you're cutting his hand off, and I don't see product. You're very good at keeping what's going on back here very much centered and in the background, but he's the star of the party, not what's in the background. He needs to be centered, and he needs to be holding the thing that he's selling, which is these hot dogs, which you gave me in the other frames, but then didn't give me in this frame. So exposure, good, light, good, framing, better. But again, you can't offset this guy. So he's like, yes, look at my sign. Rather than just let the sign be in the background and you read what you can read and you don't like, because that's not the focus. You're not trying to shoot him and his sign. You're trying to shoot him and the food that he's selling, when in this case is hot dogs. So him centered, don't include any unnecessary space, and have him presenting the product, hot dog, to camera. Simple, simple. But you can't have him like literally leaning. He's leaning so you can see his hot dog sign. Like, that's snapshot stuff. And Mike, like, you have to control that. This is your photo shoot and your control. So you have to see everything from his chain needs to be adjusted to the fact that he's leaning that way so you can see the heart and like the stuff in the background, which again, that's not the kind of photography that we're making. It's not the type of photography that we're trying to make. So this again is close, but it's not quite there. It's an improvement from last week, but as we improve one thing, we can't let the thing that was working before not also be in the element. And the thing that was working before was the hot dog. So again, Mike Walls, good swing. But again, I have high expectations of you, so we keep pushing. All right, guys, that's Mike Walls. Mike, thank you for submitting. Mike Walls in the house. All right. By the way, if you guys don't know me, I'm Steve Carty. I've been a professional photographer for the last 35 years. Next month is 36 years. Makes me feel old, but I am. I'm 55 years old. Look how good I look for 55. Can you believe so? Anyways, I just try to take care of myself, although I do have lung cancer. Shh, don't tell anybody. We're trying to work through that right now. And I did beat brain cancer. You can see my brain surgery scar. I had brain surgery like 4 months ago in like, no, I guess probably more than that now, in September, which is probably like 5 months ago or so. Anyways, healing amazingly, no brain cancer, everything good. I'm here to help you get to the next level with your photography career. Wherever that's trying to go, I really lean towards helping people who are really serious about this, who are trying to be professionals, who are trying to make a living with their camera. That's who my channel is geared towards. And if you're trying to make a living with your camera, this is absolutely for you. You are watching Portfolio Lab, which is what I do every single Thursday. I help photographers get to the next level with developing their work to the level where they can actually get paid to make it. Next up, Mr. Francis Jeffrey. Francis shoots with a Canon SL3 with a, he shot this at 60th of a second f4 at 400 ISO, shot moonlight and reflector. This is Francis Jeffrey. Francis, thanks for submitting. So Francis, you submitted a portrait. And again, it's okay. It's a little hokey because of his expression and because of the angle. It's definitely close, cropped, and like, yes, works as a cover, and yes, would crop well as an 8x10, Francis. But what I talked about with you was shooting product. And I talked about shooting product, and we talked about shooting product for all the reasons that you should shoot product. And again, if you want to listen, it makes you advance further, faster. But if you want to continually jump around between shooting portraits and shooting what you want and shooting one product photo so far, it means that like you're just creating a harder road for yourself. So I'm going to say directly to you, cool portrait. It's a little hokey with the smile. It makes it feel snapshotty instead of professional, especially because he's sitting on a couch and leaning and all comfy and not projecting himself like a professional. His shirt is a little askew. His button is undone here, which is like, it's just like, it needs to be like, his collar shouldn't be under this part of his suit. He needs to be like ordered, and his hair, he's got to run his hands through his hair to make him not look so sloppy. Like, again, Francis, product photography was what we were talking about. There's all kinds of reasons for it that I don't need to get into right now. But again, if you're going to continually jump around, I will happily review your photos. But again, you're not moving your needle forward unless you're focused on one thing fanatically, and you're not doing that. And focus is what you need more than anything. That's Francis Jeffrey, everybody. You just got to listen, Francis. Super simple. I really map it out for you. I really do. And I spend extra time trying to map out things specifically for you with your disability. All right, this is Michael Steinmetz. Michael shoots with the Canon R8. He shot this with a 50 millimeter 1.8. Shot at ISO 800 at f9 at an 80th of a second. Shot with a strobe and a silver reflector on that strobe. This is Michael Steinmetz. Michael, thanks for submitting. So, Michael, I definitely see the moment here. This is a beautiful moment. I feel like you're a little bit too close with where you're cropping the dad's chin. I feel like pulling back like literally 12 inches makes like such a huge difference, and you can still get the exact feeling of that. I know your main focus is this child, but the dad is also part of it, and cropping a chin like across this way is just like it's a non sequitur. Like, we just don't do that. Like, crop here, like just under the chin, and now it's like, now we have a photo. His head's coming in at an interesting angle, so you can change the angle of his head so you can actually still stay relatively close. But again, we have to direct these moments. We can't just expect them to happen perfectly. Light-wise, this is good. Decisive moment-wise, this is good. Focus, idea. And again, if this is your ideal client, then amazing. I'm just trying to tighten, and just give me this and then cut there is what I'm asking. Give me his ear. You know what I mean? Just a little bit of context so it's not cutting his face in such a radical way across, like it's just not a crop that we're used to seeing. So the baby looks great. You got to make both of them look great. The black and white is good. The focus is good. This is a good swing, Mike. This is a good swing. That is Michael Steinmetz. Michael, considering that for your portfolio, it could go, but I think that I would reshoot this idea stronger, or shoot these people again with what I've said in mind. All right, that is Michael Steinmetz. Next up is Nakumba Booker Jr., shot with a Canon M50 50mm 1.8, shot at ISO 80, 400th of a second at 5.6. This is Nakumba Booker Jr. Nakumba, thanks for submitting. So this is 3 weeks on this same girl in the same sort of series of ideas. Of all of them, this is the most applicable one, but it's also faceless, motionless, and in a park instead of in the mountains. So like, what's going on down here, what's going on back here, this pole where your horizon line is going right through her neck, like the light on this side, the little bit of kick there, beautiful. But I feel like at the same point, like where you're shooting this picture is sloppy. Like her not having her hands just going out of frame, like instead of like being in the front pockets and using the product a little bit, or having her arms crossed so it like shapes the back of the jacket just a little bit, and it gives her a purpose of what she's doing rather than just her just standing there. Again, I see you trying to squeeze something out of this. The fact that I see the North Face brand, yes, but the North Face is about shearing the north face of a mountain. Like the whole point of these clothes, like, yes, they're streetwear. And if you're going to shoot it in a streetwear context, then you got to be very specific about who the model is, what her body language is, and how you're styling the clothes. For me, just her from behind with her hood up, standing there without really, like, it's just for me, like, can it go in your book? Like, yeah, you can put this in your book, Nakumba, but again, it's like you're not trying hard enough. and I can't make you try harder. Like you're your own you're your own photographer, bro. Like I can't push you to shoot. Where's Nakumba's website link? I don't have his website link, and it's not here, of course, in chat. So Nakumba, honestly, I just believe in you, my guy, and I feel like you can do more than you're doing. I feel like you could do more than you're doing. And I believe in you, bro. I just think that there's no point in submitting just to submit. This is literally 3 weeks of you submitting like the same girl wearing the same jacket. So I also need you to shoot more, and don't stretch one photo shoot over 3 weeks of photo submissions. For me, that's the lazy way. The smart way is shoot it again, shoot it again, shoot it again. And if this is a reshoot, like, again, at this point, we're beating a dead horse. I'm tired of the North Face jacket. Like, bring me a newer, stronger, better idea is what I'm hoping for. All right, guys, this is Nakumba Booker Jr. Nakumba, thank you for submitting. If being on camera or speaking in front of people makes you nervous, this challenge is for you. It's called the 30-Day On-Camera Challenge, and I designed it to help you show up with confidence, whether you're recording a video, giving a presentation, or leading a meeting in real life. Every day via email, you're going to get a clear, simple prompt that helps you get more comfortable speaking out loud while building real communication skills that you can use anywhere. Now, I promise you, this isn't just for YouTubers or content creators. It's for anyone that wants to show up more clearly, communicate with confidence, and leave a lasting impression in person or on camera. If you're ready to feel more in control, express yourself with confidence, and learn how to present in a way that feels true to you, start your 30-day on-camera challenge today. All you need to do is go to thecartymethod.com/tools and pick up my 30-day on-camera challenge. Let's get to work. All right, we are on to Jessica Mendez. And Jessica shoots with a Nikon Z9. Shot this with a 105 millimeter. She shot at f/22, ISO 100 at 1/100th of a second. Shot with 2 lights, both Godox. One strobe, 1 speed light. All right, this is Jessica Mendez. She said that she's trying to get out of her comfort zone and shoot with harder light and experiment with modifiers. So Jessica's trying something here. Let's see Jessica Mendez. Jessica, thanks for submitting. Now, Jessica, I just want to go and make sure that that is not your photo. I do not have a photo for Jessica Mendez. I don't have a photo for Jessica Mendez. No, I know that it's not yours. So, calligraphy, I do not have photo 7 for Jessica Mendez. It's not in the photo review folder. Yes, I do see Jessica Mendez photo. I do see it. Jessica, please stand by. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. Calligraphy, don't even you ask me, because I don't know. Don't ask, because I don't know. I just tried to open it, and then there's 2 photographs that are opening separate from how they're supposed to open. So calligraphy, not your fault, not your fault at all. But now I have them all in, yeah, but they're not in the right order. So let's get them in the right order. Trying here, and let's get them all opened. Trying. Okay, I think we're there. I think we're there. All right, give me a moment so we can look at the proper. And hey, by the way, I'm doing this live, so like these mistakes are allowed. I forgive myself. I had to forgive myself when it comes to mistakes with live streams, because if not, I would have never continued. Because you got to imagine like how absolutely insane my live stream is now, like after doing it for longer than 5 years, like how absolutely mental my live stream is now. You can imagine that there were times when there were like huge fails, and also processing power. Like I'm running an M5 Mac Mini Pro, M4 Mac Mini Pro. So last year's hottest, greatest Mac Mini from Apple, and the thing screams. And I could do like 4K live streams. And again, that might happen, but that it's more about like cameras overheating and stuff like that when it comes to running 4K. All right, we do have Miss Jessica Mendez. So glad I recognize that. I don't think that that's your photo. Jessica's trying some things new. Let's look at Jessica Mendez. Jessica, thanks for submitting. All right, Jessica, there's a vibe here. I see what you're trying to do. The shadow, like the light that Denise Tuggle just got, makes it so you can have this edge like super hard. For me, the light looks like a little bit in betweeny. It's not like, the light's not inspired enough. And how you're shooting it just on this countertop, like however beautiful this countertop is, it's not punching. Like this needs to be shot to yellow, like a yellow seamless, like yellow paper, like something that's super, super punchy, that's going to pull off this, that's going to pull off the product, that's going to make a contrasting color to the shape and color of the product, and as well as the actual product. And these slices here, like this being in just a kitchen, just it for me lowers the value of it. We need to make it more produced and more photographic. And again, the light for me like needs to be harder. And when you're trying to get focused light, like raw light almost isn't enough. You need to get the thing that I'm using right now in order to put like this behind me, which is I can show you. It's hello, wake up. There it is. Yeah, it's that up there, and you can see how there's my strobe light, and then in front there's like a focused beam, and that's putting this light here on the wall. So all of that to say, in order to get this to the level that we're trying to get it, we might need, like, I know you're going to be a killer. I like the fact that you're like stretching your wings a little bit and trying some things. I want you to think about all the things that I've shown you that work. And I also want you to think about shooting from references. So I've showed you tone on tone, where it's like pink product, pink background, yellow product, yellow background. Like that kind of tone on tone really hits in a portfolio. And when you're shooting something as simple as Greek yogurt, like, and the fact that it's lemon, you need something that really pops the lemon, and that's where the background comes in. I hope that helps you. That is Jessica Mendez. Jessica. All right, Dr. Mendez. This is James McDonald. That's the photo we looked at. This is shot with a Fuji X Amond 1 second, please. Do you guys hear me? Okay, check, check. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Seeing people saying no audio. Check, check, check. Do you hear me? You hear me now? Okay, so perhaps I hit the mute button and held that a little bit long, or my finger hit the mute button accidentally. Looks like many of you hear me. That was somebody from my team calling me and saying, there's no audio, there's no audio. All right, thank you so much, Ammon, for that and being so on it. All right, guys, this is James Jim McDonald. James shot this with a Fuji X-T20 with a 56 millimeter, shot at a 30th of a second, f4.5 at ISO 1250. Shot natural light. This is Jim McDonald. Jim, thanks for submitting. So Jim, there's a little bit of depth to this, and I'm appreciating like this has a little bit of grit. It's tricky. I'm stuttering. Do you hear me? I was going. It's a little tricky because the key and this Porsche logo is the feature, right? So you either frame this in such a way that that's what you see, this, and this logo, but you're also trying to get in like the tachometer and all of the rest of that stuff, which then brings this so far down in the frame that the fact that this is a Porsche becomes inconsequential. And then to me, I'm seeing this here. Sorry, I'm seeing this before I'm seeing this Porsche logo. I'm seeing these highlights before I'm really knowing what I'm looking at. Like, it's a tricky one. And then, of course, you're very close here. You're cropping something out here that I don't get to see. This is very close. I don't get to see the steering wheel. Like, it's just like a tricky in-betweeny kind of detail shot. And when it comes to shooting these kinds of shots, like, I'm just going to show you, I do believe that it's beneficial to use references when you're shooting like these kinds of pictures, because without a reference, then I find that you come in trying to shoot, like, for me, this is a crop of the interior of an older Porsche that I can identify with. And then I'm identifying with like the steering wheel emblem more so than just the key. So for me, it's like when you look at references, that's when you're able to really rock strong details. And I find when you go into shoots and you're not pulling a strong reference, when you're shooting an interior of a car, it's really hard to know where to go. So for you, Jim, like, this is a good swing, but I feel like in order to get strong interiors, like, you got to spend an hour with this car and shoot hundreds and hundreds of frames in order to like understand that when you're trying to shoot details, you're trying to shoot one thing, and you're trying to shoot multiple things here, which means you need to move back and like show more of the context of the interior of the car. For me, at a quick look, I don't really know that I'm looking at an interior of a car. Like, it takes time to decipher what I'm looking at, and that should hit faster. The more experience you get at this, the better you're going to get. The more reps that you do, James, the better that you're going to get. It's a good swing. Not sure if this one hits. I'm not sure if this is strong enough for your portfolio, because I'll say I believe in you, and I believe like we're trying to set a bar when it comes to the portfolio that you're building that's really high. And in order to do that, there's no like average images that are allowed to be in there. So we weed them out. And sadly, this is one of those images, one of those average images that it's like, it's okay, but it's not moving the needle being in your portfolio or not being in your portfolio. So I would leave it out and keep room for harder, better, stronger, faster pictures. I hope that helps you. Guys, that is Mr. Jim McDonald. Jim, thanks for submitting. Jim McDonald. Guys, just a little bit of smoke for the love that I'm getting here from y'all. And just to give you guys some love, because of the generosity that was shown earlier by Zandin, like, I'm going to gift 5 memberships. So there you go, Zandin. I'm matching you with the 5 memberships that you just gave to my channel. And I'm giving 5 memberships to people who are on my channel that just happen to be watching right now and maybe not members yet. So congratulations, everybody who just got a membership. You'll notice when you type in chat that you're now green. You now have access to all my emojis, which are photography related emojis, which are super dope, like Canon Gang and Carty Crew and all of that stuff. It's super dope. And also you get to control my stream. If you ask my team, they'll tell you the secret commands, or you can just copy what they're doing. All right, guys, let's get on to our, oh my goodness, Zandin, you did not just do that, bro. Zandin already gave 5. This guy just gave 5 more. Like, that's, Zandin, stop. Like, this is insane, bro. It's not necessary. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. It's appreciated giving you the smoke, but Zandin, 10 memberships in one day? Stop. Like, that's incredible. I just wanted to match you. I didn't want you to then trump me. Jeez Louise, Zandin. Look at Jordan up there just crying his eyes out. He can't believe it. That was James McDonald. We are looking at Denise Tuggle next. Denise is shooting with a Nikon D850, 50 millimeter. She's shooting at ISO 400, shot at f16 at a 60th of a second. She's shooting with a newer spotlight and a newer main light. This is Denise Tuggle. Denise, thanks for submitting. So Denise, this is, it's feeling like whiter, cleaner light. I'm definitely noticing like this very hard edge shadow, like in here. Like, look at the edge to this shadow, how sharp that shadow edge is. Like, noticing that stuff. Really good exposure here in the coffee, really good. And again, like, good exposure in here. What we're now working on is light placement, so we're not getting the flare-Z's of the light like on the product. Overall, Denise, like, this is the beginning of you practicing. Where is my cursor? There it is. This is the beginning of you practicing with this focusable light that I recommended to you. Denise, it's a good swing. Like, I like the idea. Let me show you this as a cover. I like the idea. I'm not let me see if it's cropped properly. I'm not sure if you cropped this another way, but it's not lining up exactly with the rest of my stuff, Denise. Overall, this is a good swing. Can this go in your portfolio? Yes, but I think that you're going to be stronger with idea and execution. I feel like this is a little simple. I would love you to go even further. And for me in this situation, like seeing the circle of coffee, I want to see the entire background coffee. And then I want to see this punched in. So it's like that. And then the whole background is just coffee. And then watch your light placement based on where you are so you're not getting a hot spot. And then again, bring in a reflector so we're seeing like a nice little edge to this. Like, I want you to keep playing. You're onto something here, Miss Denise. This is Denise Tuggle, everybody. Denise, thanks for submitting. Again, Denise, it's close. I just know... I'm going to say, Denise, I know your work and I know your skill level. And I know that it's competing with work like this because this is also your photography and your portfolio. I know it's competing with this. And when we're looking at an image like this versus this, which is the same kind of dropper bottle, like we want this to hit as hard as this does. I'm only judging you against you, Denise, and I want you to see how far you've come when it comes to this type of photography. I would love to see this idea shot again with like a little bit punchier light. And again, you're still finding your light, but I also want you to see what you've done so far and know that this picture is competing with all of these other photographs. And we have to be very, very sticky when it comes to what we allow to be in our portfolio. And this same ring idea that you're doing here, this same idea that you're doing here, the same thing that I said when I looked at that other submission is, I don't think that you need the ring. I think that it would be stronger without it. And this is a case where I'm saying more coffee, not less, and punch in. In this case, you don't need the white. Show me, because now I can read caffeine solution, especially if I'm closer to this, because you can't if you're seeing this from a further back. But you're killing it, Denise. Keep it going. Keep it moving. Keep it pushing. Again, if you want to shoot this again, just give me more coffee and punch in a little closer, and then just watch that light placement so you're not getting that hot spot. That's Denise Tuggle, everybody. Good shit, Denise. All righty. And I like having the photographers' websites like on hand, photographers that are in Portfolio Lab that I'm helping develop, because I like showing the photographers their own work. It's like, hey, look, this is you. This is what you're capable of. And I'm going to pull like an 11. I'm going to pull something crazy from your portfolio and then ask you, is this as good as this? And if it's not, then you're mailing it in. And it's hard to hear that because that's not, thanks for subscribing, Daniel. I know that that's not what you're doing. I know that you're not mailing it in. That's not ever the intention. But whenever you're less than what you're capable of, you're not doing your best. And that's hard because every week is different. It's different than the last week. So I know how hard this journey is, but the one thing, like, literally, like, I want you to wrap your head around this. I could be sleeping, okay? And like the police bust through the door and they're like, all right, you're shooting for Vogue magazine right now. Get your gear. Let's go. And it's like, dude, what? I'm shooting for Vogue magazine right now. Get your gear. Let's go. I would just be like, whoa, grab my camera bag, grab my wallet and be like, all right, let's go. And then now I'm like, and then boom, do the best shoot of my life. Like from sleeping. Like, and it's because of the reps. Like I've done so many reps and traveling and shooting like multiple, like 30 and 40 looks. Like I've been sleeping in between looks, like sleep and then be like, get up and just like, all right, just like, and start directing and just like, so we have to know this stuff like second nature, like is what I'm trying to say. Like we have to be able to like, see this stuff in our dreams. Like you should literally be thinking about photography 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And when you're sleeping, you should be dreaming about it. Like literally. It takes a lot to be a pro. It takes a lot. You got to be like bloody obsessed. If you're not, and again, this is why 87% of photographers who say they want to be pros, like 87% fail in their first 2 years. And the reason is they don't try hard enough. And again, that's like why I create like a discipline with the people who watch me and the people who are in Pro Lab and Portfolio Lab. I create a discipline and a bar for them where they're constantly just in the rep of doing work and doing assignments and transitioning from that into the commercial world and what it takes to actually run a commercial photography business and the pace. You learn that pace here in a controlled environment where I can look at your work and say like yay or nay. When you're doing it out there in the wild on your own, oh my God, that could be a shit show. All right, let's get into Donna Cranshaw. Donna shot this with a Canon RP, shoots with a 100 millimeter macro, shot this with a single strobe at f5.6, a hundredth of a second at ISO 100. This is Donna Cranshaw. Donna, you're hitting right now, girl. Like, I'm telling you, like, I'm gonna, like, I don't want to cry. But this kind of shit makes me so emotional. Donna, like, you see the Matrix now. Like, you see the Matrix. Like, there's small things. Like, I would want this to not be so much to the edge. So you can push this through so you don't have a seam coming through here. And I don't have a seam back here, so I shouldn't have a seam through the front. This should just be clean. It's kind of close to the bottom, but imagine if you move your set back and then move this forward or use now this as the top of your frame, and the product can kind of come in here with like a bit of an inch, about an inch in between that and the bottom. It buys you enough space because you can see here it really works as a cover, although this picture, Donna, is not 3:2 proportion. It's actually 16:9. This is 16 going that way, and this is 9 going that way. So please make sure that you change your proportions on your camera, because you can see when I do this, it's not lining up to what the width of your photograph should be, and it's too tall. So make sure that you change that on your camera. But as I'm saying, very small things, like I don't need to see this horizon line, and make sure that your proportions are right. Because you can see once we go to an 8x10, like we want that to fit in and not be so claustrophobic. But Donna, like you see the light, like this little, sorry, wrong tool. This little highlight here, the beautifulness here, this highlight edge down here. like very clean. The bubble bottom, the way that your base disappears into this pink background, the way that this pink accents what's going on here, like you have so many things that are going in your favor here. You've shot this Fenty product a couple of times. I don't want you to go too crazy, but you're really zeroing in on like what could be a picture for your portfolio. You're very close here, but I'd like you to repair those things. Firstly, the bottom. Secondly, the framing. And the proportions of your camera settings. And just give me just a little bit more space. Obviously, I also say move this back in the frame. But I think that you're almost there, Donna. I'm very proud of you. You just have to recreate this one more time. One more time. This is almost there. Almost there. I'm giving you an 11 on this one. This is almost there, Donna. But again, remember, you're not going to be able to have 10 different pictures of Fenty skin from this same product in your book. You're going to have to just be picking like what you think the best ones are. So, but again, you're this close. I'd rather you just like nail it, shoot it, and then that becomes like even better than the stuff that you've shot and submitted for Fenty skin before. Okay? Really good effort, Donna. That's Donna Crenshaw, everybody. Donna. Thanks for submitting, Donna. I'm giving you an 11 in case I didn't. That's Donna Crenshaw. All right. We're down into the smoke, into the meat, into the grit. Speaking of smoke, let's just bring a little bit of vibes back here. I'm not sure, like, if you guys are with me still. You know, like, it's hard to hold people's attention. I got 63 people watching me, which is amazing. You're taking your time out to watch me live. By the way, I appreciate you watching me live. I know that people go through a lot of effort to watch me live, and I want you to know that I do appreciate that. I got big love for you for doing that. You're watching me after the fact. If watching me live is impossible, I appreciate you as well. And leave comments and let me know whether you watch me live or whether you watch me after the fact. And let me know if there's anything wrong with my head. That's my last question, if I'm okay. All right, guys, we're down to the last 5 photos. This is Levi Wells. Levi shoots with a Sony a6600. Shot this at 60 millimeter or with a 60 millimeter f5.6, 40th of a second at ISO 250. Shot this natural light. This is Levi Wells. Levi, thanks for submitting. So Levi, you're onto something here. You're onto something. I'm going to show you what this looks like as a double page spread. I'm going to show you how we have lots of space down here. But lots of space down here. But what we're losing is what's going on up here. Like you're cutting the product. Assume this is the product. Whoever makes this is paying you. So this product needs to get moved down in the frame, and it needs to be less about the plate and more about this. And for me now, looking at the plate, like it starts to become, this becomes distracting. This becomes distracting. Like it's not a modern plate. And then now if I really start getting into the nitty gritty, well, now I'm like, okay, there's a chip there. And then here's a chip here. And then, sorry. So there's chips here, over here, up here. And it starts to become like, why is that what we're choosing as something that goes in our photograph? And then down here, this blue, I don't know what this background is or the relevance of this to what's going on here with this beautiful pastry. So, like, I appreciate the fact that this fits between two pages and the way that you framed your edge here and your spacing here. But like, we're losing it here. It needs to be moved down. It has to be less about this plate and more about this. And for me, how we make it less about the plate is you use a plate that's a plate like this, which is a plate that you don't notice, or like this, which is a bowl, like a teacup or a coffee cup that you don't notice. So, and if you also look at this, this and this and this don't match. Like, it doesn't look like these should be in the same setting at all. So for me, Levi, and for where I'm trying to take you, like, there's just like, can this go in your book? Well, yeah, but the like people in the know are going to look and be like, why that thing, or why that, plate on that? And then it is really too high in the frame. There's a lot of stuff to think about, Levi's, when we're shooting. There's a lot of stuff to think about when we're in it and we're making frames. But this is why I say over and over again, you have to have a reference. And I know that you're not using a reference. Because if you had a reference, you would be crushing these pastry photos, because you'd be using a proven like angle, proven crop, proven set elements. Like, I'm not saying stealing, but I'm saying like you're trying to reinvent the wheel. It's really hard to hit at the level that you're trying to hit at the speed that you're trying to do it when you're not using references. And I can tell when you're shooting without a reference, because I can't see this in a magazine, in a layout. Like, I can't see where this would go. And also the combination of the plates, it just doesn't go. So that wouldn't ever be in a magazine. So if you had that as a reference, you'd look and you'd be like, I'm going to get that plate, that saucer, that coffee cup. And like, you're trying to use intelligent imitation. For me, this is not using intelligent imitation in order to get you to your goal. And again, I just believe you're better than this, Levi. And I believe that you can do better, stronger, and faster. That's Levi Wells, everybody. All right, Levi Wells. On to Ozzy Stewart. Haven't seen Ozzy in a minute. Ozzy shooting with an R5 with a 45 millimeter, shot at a 5/18 of a second at ISO 400, shot with a single strobe. This is Ozzy Stewart. Ozzy, thanks for submitting. Ozzy, this hits. This hits. Like, this hits so hard. And again, I worry because of like when you're not shooting a lot, like the consistency doesn't hit. This is something that hits the idea, the light. Now you have to understand, like, you have to figure out like what you're going to do for an encore with this picture. I shoot to black a lot, and I've made this photo a lot. So again, reference wise, I can say, yeah, like I know this guy's looking at references, because this looks very a la like a Carty-ism, but the light is right. Like the sensibility is right. You can do things like bump a reflector back here to mirror where the light's coming from this way. You have to watch your eye line. You've heard me say that the eye has to track where the nose is, and his nose is tracking this way and his eyes are tracking inwards, which is why we're seeing eye goo instead of seeing his eye centered right here. So you see Aigu and you see Aigu here. We're not seeing the color of his eye because, again, he's looking that way and that way, and you're this way, and his nose is that way. So we're trying to reconcile, like, again, I demonstrate this every time I see it. Your eyes have to look where your nose is looking. So if I'm looking here, my eyes are tracking exactly where my nose is pointing. So my eyes, although you're coming in at an angle, my eyes are still centered within my face. So you see the white on both sides and my eyeball in the center. You see? So my eye is tracking where my nose is. And as you look, that's how it should continue. Soon as you have someone's face this way and their eyes like that, then you just get this. And when you're not looking for that, you'll shoot this and people will do this for decades. But for me, this is why I'm not your average teacher. I notice the smallest nuances that you would just miss. And I show you and I shine a light on it. So you're like, that's like the one thing that I can do to make this photograph stronger. Still, it's a good swing. Still, I'm giving you an 11. And you're using intelligent imitation. This is really good. This is Ozzy Stewart. Well done, Ozzy. Great shot. And again, for me, Ozzy used a reference there. Like, I know that reference. I don't even need to see the reference. Like, I know that photo. I've made that photo. All right, this is Ivan Kotsov. Ivan shooting with a Panasonic S5 Mark II, 85 millimeter, shot at f4. Hey, thanks for subscribing. Shot at f4 at ISO 100 at 1/160th of a second, shot natural light. This is Ivan Kotsov. Ivan, thanks for submitting. So new photo, definitely see the vibe, definitely see the cover composition. I just feel like, again, it's like working your way up to like choosing cooler locations. You're outside in the cold. This guy's hoodied up. He's got like a military jacket. Like, he's not wearing like fashion that you're trying to sell. So it just becomes like, it's a cool portrait. Maybe he takes his jacket off and you shoot him just in the hoodie. And guess what? Then when it's July and it's 95 degrees outside, you don't have people in your portfolios wearing winter jackets with their hood up. They're just wearing a hoodie, which is all year round. So unless they have the absolute right outerwear, remove the outerwear. And again, it's like when we're trying to shoot these locations, like, and again, Ivan, good light, good exposure. I like the highlight on the sunglasses, like good sensibility. I like the fact that you are in like a non-distracted background scenario, but it just ends up being the brick wall is like, it's as simple as it comes, is a brick wall, and it gets really tired after once. So you need to find better backgrounds, and better backgrounds mean better photographs. You need to find some depth when it comes to making these photos. You're on the right track, Ivan. Again, you're in a place that's cold during the winter like me. I think that you're in Pennsylvania. So know that soon, within the next month or so, it's going to be so much nicer. So you're going to be able to enjoy better weather, and I'm hoping better light and better locations. You just got to pick locations a little bit harder. Like this, to me, just feels just a little bit easy. And anything that feels easy is not something that people pay for. So we really have to push when it comes to our locations. And if you look at my website and look at the locations that I choose to put average people and the way that I use locations in order to give the scene dimension. Like, it's important to look at references and look at like, oh wow, this like tin like container kind of a rusty background, and this is what like fresh wood like that as a background. Like, I want you to look at the way that I choose backgrounds. I think that it could be helpful. I mean, this is a great example of picking a background. It's like night and then I'm lighting and the rest of the scene goes super dark and blah, 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 blah. Like, we really have to push where we're going with our backgrounds. Ivan, I think that you've improved so much in the last like 3 months. Like, it's absolutely insane how much you've improved. But you know where I'm taking you is to another level, and I'm not letting what would be okay for somebody else be okay for you, because your bar is higher. So that is Ivan Kotsov. Ivan, thanks for submitting. All right, we are down to our last 2 photos. This is Mira. Mira shot this with a Canon R6 with a 24-70 at 45 millimeters. Shot at 3.5 at a 60th of a second at ISO 640. Shot natural light. This is Mira. Mira, thanks for submitting. Mira, this is really pretty. I like this a lot. Like, you can see that this girl is shy, but like, you're really bringing that out to her, and the fact that she's projecting herself forward, like, I can't, like, this, to be honest, this is a masterclass in body language. The way that she's holding her hands, the way that she's leaning forward, her clothing is organized, her hair is organized. She's got the right, like, approachable, I know something that you don't, but without being like egotistical or bitchy. Like, she's got like the right expression on her face. All day long, I'm going to say that this is an 11. All day long. This is a great, great shot. And absolutely, this should go in your portfolio. I know what your portfolio looks like. I look at this as a cover. I'm going to show you. Oops. Sorry. That was an accidental touch, but it's all on timers, so I have no control. So showing you what this looks like as an 8x10 really works. So it's going to go well on social media. And then, Mira, if I was to now look at your site and show the viewers like what your, and again, this just also shows you the level of photographers that trust me to help them get their career to the point where they're doing 100K a year. So this is Mira, and Mira, this photograph fits in this portfolio and fits your sensibility. Like, I love this so much. Like, it fits your sensibility. It fits the way that you shoot. This fits. And looking at the way that you make photographs, like, it fits. And I like the fact I talk to photographers about repeating things that work. And this is you essentially repeating and imitating yourself and establishing your style and the way that you photograph women. And Mira, proud of you. This is an absolute yes. Oh, that's already in your portfolio, silly. This is an absolute yes. Well done. That's an 11 out of 10. That is Mira Lee. Well done, Mira. All right. And I'm not saying mirror, by the way. I'm saying Mira. M-I-R-A. Mira. not mirror, mirror on the wall, everybody. So stop getting it twisted. All right, our last photo is Eamon Thompson. Eamon shooting with a Fuji XZ2 with a 90 millimeter f2. He shot this at ISO 125 at 2/50th of a second out of 8. Shot with 2 strobes with a reflector. This is Eamon Thompson. Eamon, this has a good sensibility. The expression in this one isn't quite hitting as hard as the expression in the other, as well as what she's wearing. Like, it's just like wear round the house tights and wear round the house clothes. So what she's wearing makes this not hit as hard as it could. I love the fact that, let's get rid of that. I love the fact that there's no fake eyelashes. By the way, this is how great your eyelashes look when they're not fake, ladies. And look at how great it looks in photography when your eyelashes aren't fake. It looks so good. So again, Eamon, for me, the only miss is like what she has on here and what she's wearing here. Face, hair, skin, exposure, background, all of that stuff is like yes, 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 yes. Cover composition, yes. What it looks like as an 8x10, yes. All of this stuff works, but it's just what she's wearing. Unfortunately, what she's wearing here is not hitting as hard as it could. Lululemon something, like a bikini, like something fashion, like you need, like it could be so many different things, but for me, the round the way clothes is not the stuff that we wear on photo shoots, stuff that she would just wear around the house. And to me, that's what she's wearing. But this is still a great swing. I really like how you're honing your light, how you're honing like your background sensibility, your distance from your subject, like all of these like small little things that you're tuning. I'm seeing all of that. It's just as you start to add yourself into the fashion category of photography, like there's lots of stuff that we have to add, and what the girl's wearing is a huge part of it. Holy moly, that's our last photo. It's time for photos of the week.
If you're ready to stop guessing and actually grow your photography business, these are the 3 tools that I wish that I had earlier. They're simple, they're powerful, and they're made for photographers that are ready to get serious. Tool number 1, my cold outreach master pack. 18 proven email templates and a step-by-step guide to help you get new clients fast. If you've ever stared at a blank screen not knowing what to say, this fixes that. Tool number 2, my professional photographer's habit tracker. Good gear doesn't build success. Good habits do. My daily habit tracker keeps you focused, accountable, and moving forward every day. And tool 3, the ultimate photographer's call sheet. Shoots get chaotic fast. This call sheet organizes your client info, your gear checklist, and shot list so you show up confident and prepared. You can grab all 3 right now at thecartymethod.com/tools. They're built from real-world experience, and they're ready to help you grow today.
All right, folks, I'm ready for photos of the week. I hope you are. I'm ready for photos of the week. I hope you are. Starting with this photographer right. His name, Michael Steinmetz. Michael, photo of the week. Congratulations, Michael. Photo of the week. Congratulations, my guy. Photo of the week, Mike Steinmetz. Great light, great decisive moment, Michael. Very well done. That is Michael Steinmetz. Again, I'm judging people for taking swings, and I'm judging people for trying. And this photographer is doing both of those things. This is Jessica Mendez. Jessica, that's a photo of the week for you. Again, I gave you all the details that you have to do in order to take this to the next level. I'm hoping that you reshoot this and try again. This is Jessica Mendez. Congratulations, Jessica. All right. Photos of the week. I'm judging you against you. This is you against you. And are you moving your own needle? Are you staying in your lane? Are you making pictures that are making you better? Our next photographer photo of the week goes to Miss Denise Tuggle. Denise, it's a photo of the week. Denise, and I told you exactly what you could do if you wanted to reshoot this and give me this photograph again. I'm not going to say it again, but I am letting you know that I notice your progress and I notice your exposure and I notice how hard you're trying. So congratulations, Denise. That's a photo of the week. All right. Next on the docket goes Miss Donna Cranshaw. Donna, that's a photo of the week. Donna, again, I broke down your camera proportions are 19 by are 16 by 9. That proportion is off. They need to be 2 by 3. I talked to you about how to make this photograph absolutely better, but the quality of light and the sensibility here idea is all very strong. I'm judging you against you for that. This is a photo of the week. That is Donna Cranshaw. Donna, congratulations. All right. Photos of the week. And again, I'm hard. When it comes to this shit, I don't care. If there's no photos of the week, guess what, guys? No photos of the week. You all missed. Like, if that's how it is, that's how it is. But the photographers that are really trying and they're moving their self forward, I recognize that. I see that like as plain as day. Photographers who aren't trying, I also see that as plain as day, as you hear how I talk during this show. Guys, our next photo of the week goes to Mr. Ozzy Stewart. Ozzy, photo of the week. Congratulations, my guy. This is intelligent imitation. This is proof. This says so much just about what you can do and your capabilities as a photographer. I believe in you. This is a hit, my guy. You smashed this. That is Ozzy Stewart. And again, I'll say over and over again, the benefit to shooting using a reference or repeating something that you've done before, that works. And that's how this next photographer won her photo of the week. This is Mira. Mira, that's a photo of the week, girl. You smashed this one. This can go directly into your portfolio like now, directly. Very, very, very well done. Very elegant, very likable, very approachable portrait. I like this very much. And guys, those are our photos of the week. Everybody who won photo of the week, congratulations. If you didn't win photo of the week, don't stress about it. Know that every week we're working towards something. I am your bar. Once you hit an 11 out of 10, that gets marked on the docket. Now, it's like being a high jumper. Once you hit like 8, 9, once you hit 10 feet, no one's going to be impressed if you're doing 8-foot jumps anymore because you've done 10 feet. So you've set a higher bar, and I'm trying to help you set a higher bar for yourself. The hard thing is once you do a 10-foot high jump, you have to do them every time. And you have to believe that you can do them every time. And you also have to use everything in the book that you have available to you to make it so you're always hitting at that level. Intelligent imitation is a huge part of it. Having the right reference photos to look at before you go out and make your work really helps. Looking at photographers like me that have been working pros for a really long time and looking at my portfolio is super helpful. Yeah, I appreciate you guys for being here. I hope this helped you. If this helped you, hey, leave a comment. It helps me a lot if you leave a comment saying like, hey, I love Portfolio Lab. It helps me so much. You can also join if you want me looking directly at your work just by going to thecartymethod.com/portfolio lab. I'm a pro photographer. Of course, you can look at my work at stevecarty.com. Just super simple. Go to stevecarty.com. And the thing that I also include is my gear list, which beyond every single thing that I use in order to run my photography business, and there's links for everything. That includes all my photo and video equipment, my computers, my monitors, storage devices, what memory cards I use, my readers, my retouching tablet, my desk accessories, all my hubs, my teleprompters. Like, I give you all my video, my photography lighting first, my video lighting second, all my modifiers, all my light stands, all my tripods, and all my rigging. Everything that I use in order to run my business is here on stevecarty.com, my photography site. But if you need help with your photography business, you have to go to thecartymethod.com and sign up for Portfolio Lab. Sign up for Pro Lab if you want help not only developing your work, but also developing your business. I'm deep into a round of my accelerator. I run my accelerator program inside Pro Lab twice a year. I do it in January and in June. We are just about finished the January one. The June one might start in July, but we do it twice a year. Very excited for the people who are in there. They're excelling. I'm appreciating you for getting to the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.
This commercial-free live stream was brought to you by the members of this channel. If it wasn't for you, we'd have to fill up these live streams with ads that would just interrupt the flow. The members of this channel make commercial-free content during these live streams possible. Consider becoming a member for $5 a month today to gain access to secret live streams, live chats, and to show your support with that crown badge next to your name. Sharing is caring. If this content has brought you value today, share it, clip it, post it to your socials. Curating and sharing helpful content makes you an expert, even if the content you're sharing isn't yours. Be a curator and share this content with your network. If you're an emerging or struggling photographer that's trying to break free from your current 9-to-5 grind and transition to the life of a working pro photographer, that's our obsession here at the Carty Method. Register, get the support you need. If you're alone and struggling at this craft, make sure you join the Carty Method community. You'll always find help in the show notes. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Find your creative and business genius with the Carty Method.
All right, I forgot to tell you this week's assignment. Of course, as always, each week's assignment you'll find always inside community. But next week for week 13, I'm looking at double page spreads within your niche. That means horizontal, left or right biased images that work as 2 pages in a magazine. I want you to create a horizontal 2-page spread that commands attention and communicates strong personal brand and strong commercial intent. The full brief is always in community. Next week, week 13, I'm looking at